Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the From Pillar to Post SummerSlam 2017 review / post-game show. Joe White here on the Internet Radio, as always. That's right. I said it. Joe White on your Internet Radio, as always. Getting back to our roots tonight. Some things will never change like this music. I love this theme song. So do others, apparently. Oh my God, what a four-finger stinker this was, ladies and gentlemen. What a show. Oh. I remember... Oh. I was yawning during the fucking first hour. During the first hour. By the way, this is the From Pillar to Post Radio Network, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button. All donations made during the month of August and September will go to help the family of the late great Rick Hendrickson. Rick Hendrickson passed away last week at the age of, I believe, 33 or 34. One of the true podcasting podcasting pioneers. He was podcasting before podcasting was cool, or before the word was even invented. We encourage you to go back and watch the tribute show that we did to him on, I believe it was Friday night. It's probably the best. It's sad because many are saying it's the best radio show I've ever done. I just wish it was under better circumstances. We got a new subscriber alert here for you on the channel. Let's go ahead and repeat that here. That's right, our old pal Brass Eye subscribed. Brass Eye, Vince is worried because you subscribe to our channel. That's right, he's worried. Let me hit that again. That way it plays fully. There we go. Brass Eye has subscribed to the channel. Hopefully it'll, there we go. Vince is worried because you've subscribed to us, Brass Eye. All donations again during the month of August and September will go to help Rick Hendrickson's family. Rick Hendrickson, may he rest in peace. A lot of people asking why I did not do a NXT show last night, post-show or pre-show for that. I got to be honest with you, Friday, man, it did not hit me that Rick Hendrickson had really passed away until Friday. Until I actually started doing that radio show. And it drained me. It really freaking drained me. It was like I'd worked all day in the fields, so to speak, after doing those 2 hours. Which is the way radio is supposed to make you feel. You know, it's a drug, really. I mean, it's an exhilarating drug. When you get off the air, you just want to jump back on and do more. But those 2 hours on Friday night drained the piss out of me. And I did not feel like doing radio yesterday. Robert, our good friend of the show, Robert Wells, came down. And we were going to do something. I even mentioned it to him. Hey, if you want to do a post show, we'll do a post show. Why not? And then the closer it got to it, I'm just like, I don't want to look at that soundboard. I don't want to look at that microphone. And it had nothing to do with you guys. I mean, it's just, it just, my grief for Rick hit me all at once. And it's kind of like a James Brown. I couldn't go on. Had to help myself. Anyway. The NXT last night, I will tell you that I enjoyed that show last night. There was not a bad match on the show. It was not a bad match on that show. Every single match, if I had to use the Dave Scherer scale, every single match on that show earned a 3.5 to 4 to 5 star rating for me. That's how good it was. The big announcement, everybody's asking me about the big announcement. Well, as you can see, if you go to the YouTube page, the Twitch channel I'm going to be working on. But if you go to the YouTube page, you'll notice that almost all remnants of 1650 PWAM are gone. And there's a reason for this. And I owe somebody a big thank you for this. There's actually a few reasons. One is the death of Rick Hendrickson really kind of shook me to the rafters and realized that I need to get back to my roots doing this. It's sad that the death of Rick kind of instilled the love of internet radio back in me. But it did. And it showed me that, yeah, while we may not have 10,000, 100,000, even 300, 500 subscribers, I still have a love for doing this. And I still have a want to do this. I still have that need to do this each and every week or each and every day. And then the second part of that was Jeff Edwards. And before you sit there and go, oh, here comes the heat. No, this was a good thing. Jeff Edwards actually reached out to me after that tribute show that I did. By the way, thank you guys, everybody who contributed to that. Casey Carnage, Casey Osborne, Steve Ludwig, Sheldon Goldberg, all the friends and family of Rick Hendrickson who called in, who listened. But Jeff Edwards reached out to me after that. And I didn't expect this. I didn't expect it at all. His text to me was, take a well-deserved break and Skype me when you can. And I swear to God, as he was typing, it's going to sound crazy, as he was typing this in, or right before he sent this, I was typing into my phone. I was going to text him and be like, dude, take no offense to this, but that tribute show is probably the best radio show I've ever done. And as I'm about to hit the send button on that text, is when I got his text. And I'm sitting there going, this dude's going to put me over. I don't even have to put myself over to him. I knew what was going to happen. It was great. And Jeff proceeded to tell me how you got to get back to your roots, White. You got to get back to doing what made you and Rick do this in the first place. You have to get back to doing internet radio. You have to get back to going live each and every time. You have to go back to 2005, 2006, and do this the way you did back then. You have to drop the 1650 name. Go back to being just from pillar to post. You have to get back to your roots, White, is what Jeff Edwards says. And Jeff even, playing at the heartstrings, which is absolutely true. He goes, Rick would have wanted it that way. So that's the big announcement. 1650 PWAM, at least on my end, is dead. The Twitter account is dead. I gave it back to Jeff. I says, Jeff, do whatever the fuck you want with it. I don't want it no more. Everything on this channel is going to be about From Pillar to Post, whether it be Let's Plays of video games, whether it be this radio show, everything. I also have some stuff coming up in the works with different YouTubers who are wanting to collaborate with me, and I've reached out to collaborate with them. It's going to be good. The one YouTuber who's coming up actually texted me last night or DM'd me last night on Twitter and goes, dude, we got to help you out. We got to get your channel some recognition. And I was like, dude, I don't know why I don't have, it. He goes, why don't you have more followers? I was like, dude, if I knew why, I'd have more. Just haven't been as lucky as some of these other YouTubers, I guess. So that's the plan going forward. 1650 PWAM, at least on my end of things, is dead. And it's now From Pillar to Post Radio. Call into the show if you wish tonight, 434-710-4900, 434-710-4900. Help me discuss and dissect this horrible one-match show, or I'll say two-match show, that was SummerSlam 2017 for the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And to all these fans out there who were posting last night, the main roster has some following up to do. They have to follow that main roster. You get this every time you get a takeover. Because NXT is incapable of having a bad show, it seems like. NXT is incapable of having a bad takeover, it seems. There was one in there, I can't remember which one, that really didn't sit well with a lot of people, but nobody was dog shitting that as much as people were on Twitter tonight. Ooh. Ooh. It was rough tonight, folks. And I myself contributed to it. I tell you, we're sitting around here. Let's go match by match. The pre-show here kicked off with The Miz and The Miztourage defeating the Hardy Boys. I didn't see this match. My son told me it was boring. My 8-year-old son said it was boring. The Hardy Boys, they have this big debut during WrestleMania. Jason Jordan is Kurt Angle's deal. They do this month-long gimmick. And then they're relegated to the pre-show. That's what happens when you book 13 fucking matches in one night, Vince. You overbooked it. You overbooked this show. Neville defeating Akira Tozawa with Titus O'Neil in his corner. I gotta tell you, I called this. I knew they were going to do this. I knew it. It was a good match. I liked this match. They went 11 minutes, 45 seconds. I actually enjoyed this match. I enjoyed their match from Monday. It's too bad that the stench of 205 Live hangs over these cruiserweights now. I enjoyed the match. I predicted the ending last Monday. But, so yeah, Neville now has that belt back. The Usos defeated the New Day. What a fuck. They gave these guys almost 20 minutes. And they took that 20 minutes and turned them into 20 golden minutes. Here. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this headset here. I'm dealing with a broken headset. That's how horrible this thing is. But yeah, the Usos worked their asses off. Somebody out there put that the Usos were better than the Young Bucks. I have to agree. The New Day was damn good. Actually excited to see Xavier Woods actually work. Because normally it's Big E and Kofi doing all the work, and Xavier's just out there tooting his horn. Literally. But what a match. It was really good. A lot of near falls. You really didn't know which way this one was going to go. I will say that I'm happy that the Usos won. Because you can't put those titles back on the New Day yet. I mean, I know that they came in as champions, but you can't put the titles back on the New Day for another really long run. You just can't. Then we had the main card of the show. John Cena jerking the curtain, taking on Baron Corbin, and someone's in the doghouse. Baron Corbin losing. Really good crowd. See, the thing I like about Baron Corbin, and this is where Baron Corbin excels, the problem is I don't know if WWE wants him doing it. You start chanting something stupid at Baron Corbin is going to fuck right back with you. Baron Corbin's going to tell you what a loser you are. There's nobody in this company right now, besides maybe Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura. I'll put Shinsuke Nakamura at the top of the list maybe, but there's nobody else in this company that knows how to play towards a crowd and really get a crowd pissed off that Baron Corbin is now. A lot of people are saying, well, that's X-Pac heat. And I disagree. I really do disagree. But anyway, John Cena went over Baron Corbin, so somebody's in the doghouse. I don't know what they're going to do with Baron Corbin, but he's lost Money in the Bank. He's lost the opening match of SummerSlam to John Cena. Who knows if you will, I mean, honestly, at this point, the way they're treating him, I would not be surprised to see him go back to NXT. The problem is, can you take him seriously in NXT? Hell, the NXT crowd doesn't even want to see him. Last night he was on this kickoff panel. Your NXT crowd was chanting, "You fucked up and boring, and where's your briefcase?" at his ass. So I don't even think NXT can save him at this point. Maybe time for him to future endeavor himself. Go out on the indies and get a little bit more experience on the indies. So it may be a good idea. I mean, I could see it happening. Is he going to make Cody Rhodes money on the indies? No. Hell, he's not even going to make fucking... He's not even going to make probably... He'll make Beer City Bruiser money on the indies. But that's not the point. What you do is, you send him out into the world. You tell him, look, go get some experience. Go get a better attitude. Then maybe in a couple years we could talk. I think that's what you do with Baron Corbin. I don't want to see anybody lose their job, quite frankly. I think it sucks, but anyway. I just think that maybe he just needs more experience. That's all. So, after this, we had Natalya defeating Naomi by submission. It was a decent match. It wasn't... See, here's the thing. Here's the problem. Everybody's sitting there going, NXT, the main roster has a lot to... As I said, the main roster has a lot to live up to with that NXT matches, that NXT card last night. But you seem to forget one thing. One of them is being booked by a guy who actually has his finger on the pulse. Another one is booked by a 70-something-year-old man who barely has a pulse. That's the difference. One of them is being booked by a guy who's in touch and is bringing in guys like Gabe Sapolsky and Prazak and all those guys. Another is stuck in 1998 and still thinks Jerry Springer-esque Maury Povich storylines are funny. That's the problem. It's not the writers. It's not the wrestlers. It's not their work rate. It's Vince. It's Vince. Vince could care two shits about NXT. I'm not saying he doesn't watch tapes of it. I'm not saying that he doesn't look at the product and go, I could do something with this kid. But he does not, I don't think he has a direct influence on the storylines. That's Hunter's baby. It was created with the preface that it would be Hunter and nobody else influencing it. So, they mentioned here that this is the first time, I think they said, in 6 years that Natalya has had a title. How sad is that? Then again, she does come off as a complete whiner in her promos. And on Total Divas, from what I understand, she's nothing but the crazy cat lady of WWE. She comes off, I gotta say, she comes off a bit old and a bit weird. Big Cass defeating the Big Show. Enzo Amore suspended in the ring above the shark cage. Enzo comes out, cuts a fucking promo. Same goddamn promo he does all the time. Big Show's getting his ass whipped through or Big Cass is getting his ass whipped a lot during this match. Big Show then gets his ass whipped. Enzo doesn't like it. He tries to slip his skinny little ass out of the bars of the cage. I guarantee you, Vince McMahon, this is a rib. This is an ongoing, this whole entire fucking storyline is a Vince McMahon rib on the audience and on Enzo Amore. How can we humiliate Enzo this week? How can we make him seem like a total geek this week? How can we make this dude seem like a complete oof? So what happens during this match? He's trying to sneak out the bar. So what does he do now? He takes off his shirt. He takes off his pants. Takes off his boxers at one point. One pair of boxers at one point. He reaches and grabs a jar or a vial of baby oil out of his tights. He oils himself up. And then he slips out the cage. He slips out of the cage. Immediately, fucking Cass is sitting there watching him come down the cage after he gives a boot to the Big Show. Big Show is laid out. He watches Enzo climb down the cage, waits for him to hit, and then drops him with the big boot. Then gives a big boot to the Big Show, and that was it. This match could have taken place on Raw. The John Cena Baron Corbin match could have taken place on SmackDown. At this point, I'm tweeting that the pre-show matches are better than what's on this main card. I'll say that again. The pre-show matches are better than what was on the main card, and we're 6 matches into the night. Randy Orton defeating Rusev. The match went 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Here's a fucking clue for you guys. Everybody bitching about it. The match shouldn't have taken place at all. Speaking of a guy they probably need to send back to NXT or do something different with it, Rusev. Because you killed the guy. You've killed him, Vince. He's injured. You do this deal where you totally think maybe Rusev's going to get a push upon coming back. He tells Shane McMahon that I'm not coming back unless you give me the main event of Money in the Bank. That's mentioned one time. One time that's mentioned. And it actually popped the internet crowd and gave us something to talk about. And it's never mentioned again because heaven forbid they should give us something that we actually like. Heaven forbid they should give us something that we actually want to talk about. Heaven forbid they should give us something that elevates a guy and makes sense and builds a future star. Sasha Banks defeated Alexa Bliss by submission in 13 minutes, 10 seconds. This was horrible. I'm watching, again, it's apples and oranges. You cannot compare NXT to WWE, the main roster. You can't. Especially after what they've done to Jason Jordan. And especially after they've proven to you time and time again that what goes on in NXT doesn't mean shit once they hit Raw or SmackDown. You might as well erase it out of your head and act like these guys are never went there. But I'm sitting here watching this Asuka Ember Moon match last night, which for me was the second best match on the show. The opening match of TakeOver, Almas and Roddy, was fucking awesome. But Asuka and Ember Moon were a close second, if not tied for first. And I'm sitting there going, they're preaching about a women's revolution on the main roster? Guess what? There is no women's revolution anymore. They've ruined the Revolution. They do this bit in the back before the match, and Bayley got booed again. Bayley got booed again. Why? Because they went from one smart mark town to another. Hell, they were booing her Monday night too, so hopefully we'll get a Bayley heel turn. Or unless, we're sitting here thinking maybe Bayley could be the next John Cena of the women's division. Now it's more like, is Bayley the next Roman Reigns of the women's division? It's scary when you think about it with Bayley, isn't it? Because she deserves better. That character deserves better. But then again, when you were in NXT, what made Bayley work is A, it's a small crowd. B, it's the same people each and every fucking week, even on the house show loops that they do in Florida. And C, you had Izzy, that fucking little twerp super fan Izzy, who dressed like Bayley and had a women's title and was Bayley's best friend. It was like Bayley's mascot. That's what got the character over. That one little super fan, which I don't even know what the term super fan means. What qualifies you to be a super fan in wrestling? But Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss. Alexa was awesome. Sasha here, it's just, these two have personal heat in the back, and it kind of showed through in this match. They kept it professional. You can tell they hate each other, I'll put it that way. But it just was not that good. I mean, the rest of the card that came before it tainted it. This crowd tainted it. They sat on their fucking hands through the whole thing because they wanted Alexa to win. Sasha ends up winning, and you could have heard a fucking pin drop in that building when it happened. Next up, we had Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. Here's what I got to say about this one. My girlfriend, during the Alexa Bliss Sasha Banks match and all that, she's washing dishes because I cooked. So she got the dishes tonight. And she hears Balor's music playing, or Balor, and she goes, "Oh, is Balor coming out?" I was like, "Yeah." So she runs in there. She goes, "I just want to see his entrance and see what his paint looks like." As soon as the bell rang, she turned right back around, went in the kitchen, started washing dishes again. Now, I will say the Balor entrance with got the whole world in the hands and all that, and the paint was cool, but Bray Wyatt is just so fucking stale. You knew he was going to lose. It was too little too late on the Finn Balor makeup. Balor, to me, deserves better than to be a fucking mid-carder right now, because that's what he is. He's a damn mid-carder, and it's a disgrace. Four 710-4900 is how you can call, get in touch with me. I'll put you on the air. You can tell us what you thought about this show. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins defeating Cesaro and Sheamus. This was actually okay. Dean Ambrose and Rollins won. They did the little shield bits. That was pretty much it. I mean, the match went how I thought it was going to go. Highlight of the match, though, saw when the fucking beach balls start coming out. God damn you British wrestling fans. That's all I got to say. You fucking idiots. Keep your asses over on that side of the pond. And when it comes to pro wrestling, keep your ass over there. Your own fucking companies can't fucking run a building here in the U.S. without picking a sweat box where people are passing out and shitting in their seats from dehydration. So just keep your asses over there, over in fucking England. Don't come here for Mania, because 3 weeks after Mania, they'll come to you and you can act like fucking monkeys all you want to. They started this one fall thing, this fucking SmackDown ring announcer. I want to fucking strangle this, whoever this SmackDown ring announcer is. Every fucking match. He's got to pause for them to say it. JoJo did it in the main event. Every time a ring announcer pauses for that, I could ring announce better. You don't pause and give them a chance to be annoying like that. The following match is scheduled for one fall. Coming to the ring first, you know. Why are you pausing to let this happen? I can't fucking stand it. Stop. I thought Vince McMahon would have put the kibosh on this a long time ago. It's fucking annoying. But the highlight of this match is when they start bopping around these beach balls. And the second Cesaro saw it come out, the second he saw it come out, he jumped the guardrail, went over, grabbed the fucking beach ball. Some of the fans booed until they saw him rip the fucking thing apart. And everybody, yay! Everybody's like, yay, Cesaro did it. And on Twitter, everybody's going fucking crazy. Yay, he did it. But the same fans that are sitting there saying, kudos to you, Cesaro. Very well done, Cesaro. These are the same people that were defending the British twats back in April 2 years ago when they started this bullshit. That's right, I'm calling out you Twitter fans. You're fucking hypocrites when it comes to this shit. Pick a side. I hate when these fucking fans get on there and the night after Mania, oh, this is fun, they got out the beach balls. I was in the crowd and I hit a beach ball. And these are the same motherfuckers who are coming on here. Yay, Cesaro, you're the best, man. Tear up that beach ball. And then you get these fans. Then it didn't stop there. You get these fans that go, that beach ball had an American flag printed on it, man. That's very unpatriotic in today's day and age, given everything that's happened in the last week. I could care less if it's a picture of Jesus Christ Superstar on that fucking thing. It shouldn't be there to begin with, and I'm glad he ripped it the fuck up. And if another one would have came out, he would have went into the crowd and did it again. Don't waste your money on that. I know, you went to the dollar store and you spent the 50 cents. Ain't you rich? How many Slurpees did you have to sell to buy that beach ball, I wonder? Stupid motherfuckers. I can't fucking stand that shit. AJ Styles defeated Kevin Owens. Shane McMahon was the ref. I will say everything about the match made sense. Shane McMahon was used properly, and it was probably the second best match on the show. Because you cannot... I don't care. They gave these guys 17 minutes. I didn't expect them to get this much, but they gave them 17 minutes. And they made the most of it. They really did make the most of it. I was impressed here. These two just cannot have a bad match. And I hope it's the end of it. People are saying you're going to get Owens versus AJ or Owens versus Seth or Shane at Hell in a Cell. Sorry, it's late, folks. I hope they go that route. And if you're going to keep Baron Corbin around, have him feud with AJ. Have him feud for the U.S. title. John Cena's going away, I think, to film another fucking movie or whatever. And I love how these dirt sheets, well, Brock Lesnar and John Cena are booked for Raw and SmackDown dates or whatever the case may be, so there's no way they're losing or leaving. It's a little thing called card subject to change. And if they sit there and they change that card and then announce refunds up in section at the concourse on section 38.2 because John Cena's not going to be here, you have until the beginning of the second match to do it. How many motherfuckers are really going to go and fucking get a refund? Give me a break. Card subject to change. Hell, how many times has the old man changed his fucking mind? We've seen angles change and zigzag in the middle of Monday Night Raw before, 2 segments apart from each other. So don't give me that crap of, well, they're booked for other shows, so they have to be sticking around. Jinder Mahal with the Singh brothers defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. This is where all the smarks start crying. I like the finish of I like the result of the match. Jinder should not be giving it up yet. Yes, they're getting ready to go to India. Sorry, got a text from my girlfriend there. I do have a life. But, yes, I know they're going to India. And, yes, their deal is he has to be the champion when he goes over there, whatever the case may be. And, yes, they could have done it to where Shinsuke loses the belt back to Jinder over in India. You know, back in the old days, before the shit just started getting ruined and everybody wants to spoil everybody's fun, the title could drop to, he could have dropped the title tonight, and then they could have hot potatoed the belt 2 or 3 times in India, and the world wouldn't find out about it until about maybe 2 or 3 days when they got back. You can't do that nowadays. So Jinder Mahal, I'm happy with Jinder Mahal winning. I just don't like the finish of the match. I thought the finish came too quickly. The Singh brothers get a couple shots in, and then bam, that's it. Come on. The finish looked botched anyways. And then we had probably the best match on this fucking show. It was the longest match on this show. 20 minutes, 45 seconds. Fatal 4-way for the Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman defeated Strowman, Reigns, and Joe. I'm surprised Roman took the pin here. I don't want to see Roman Reigns anywhere near the WWE title from now on. Until fucking... I don't know when. But Brock Lesnar just pinned Roman Reigns. Yes, it wasn't one-on-one. But he still pinned Roman Reigns. He still F5'd and pinned Roman Reigns. No Undertaker in here. The fans were chanting for him 2 or 3 times during the match. The star of the match was Braun Strowman. They made Braun Strowman look like, even though he lost, they made Braun Strowman look like King Kong. Samoa Joe was the outcast of the match, really didn't have much to do. The story of the match for Joe wasn't interested in anybody else but Brock. Joe was interested in not pinning anybody else or tapping anybody else but Brock. Joe had tunnel vision when it came to this match, and that was Brock Lesnar. And making Brock tap. That was the story here. Not a bad story to tell. But it's a story to really tell on singles action, not when you're trying to battle 3 other people, because it just makes you... When you have that tunnel vision, and the way they booked it here, it just made Joe come off as the weakest of the 4. Which we kind of knew that going in. Hell, I'm surprised Joe didn't take the pinfall in the match, because that's what I had called since they announced this match. I was like, Joe's just there to take the pin. So they shocked the hell out of me on that one. So that was SummerSlam. I mean, they did an incredible spot in this match where Strowman put Lesnar through 2 tables and then flipped the 3rd one on him. The second that they... Hold on. So the second that they... The second they brung out the EMTs, I was like, okay, here's where we set up the shitty finish. Here's where we set up Brock winning. And sure enough, that's what it was there for. But the intensity of this match, from the moment the bell rang until the very fucking end, you had a little bit of a lull in between for like maybe 5 minutes during the match. But the first 10 minutes of the match and the last 5 of the match, it was bam, 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 which is exactly what you need when you have 4 talents of these caliber in a 4-way match. This is what you need. And that's what we got. It was the best match on the show. Not a 5-star match. Solid 3.5 to 4 easily if I had to give it the Meltzer scale. So that was SummerSlam. It was a mediocre. It was probably the weakest SummerSlam in history. I will say that right now. This was probably the weakest SummerSlam in history. So, one has to wonder what they're going to do tomorrow night. Brock Lesnar is booked for tomorrow, from what I understand. If they go into a Roman Reigns, I want Roman to disappear for a while, to be quite honest with you. Make him disappear, turn him heel already. Samoa Joe, I don't know what you do with him after this. That's the sad part, man. And I said it from the very beginning. Joe was going to get lost in the shuffle. He got lost in the shuffle tonight. He's going to get lost, and he's going to stay in that void of where do you put him now? Do you put him against Balor? That's the next logical step. Do you put Joe versus Balor? It's a total cluster, man, as always. It really is. 434-710-4900. I'm not going to stay back on the air too much longer. If you want to call in, go ahead and call in now. But that was SummerSlam. There's no need for me to do a long, drawn-out, match-by-match recap of it because there it was. Do I recommend going back and watching this show? Watch AJ versus Owens and Brock versus the rest of them. Those are the 2 matches you need to see. Everything else could have been done on Raw or SmackDown. Watch the pre-show. Watch that fucking pre-show. The pre-show was good. The pre-show was good. It's sad when the pre-show, those 3 matches on the pre-show, or at least the 2 matches, the last 2 matches, Neville and Tozawa and Owens versus the Usos versus the New Day. It's sad when those 2 matches were better than 75% of the main card. It's really sad. Really, really sad. Tomorrow night, we're going to have the Raw recap show. Hopefully. That's another thing I will say about the going forward on the channel. After the next 2 weeks, I have cut myself down to a part-time job, so I will have more time to spend on the channel and spend on content. So that's, so that's a good thing, I guess, is that I'm going to be able to devote more time to it. I'm really hoping these collaborations with the other YouTubers happen. I'm really hoping that it's good. So we'll see. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for tonight. Not much to say about the pay-per-view because the pay-per-view was actually pretty shitty. It really was. It was kind of shitty. But I knew it was going to be. I've been telling you guys, it's shitty-ass booking. Piss-poor planning leads to piss-poor production. That's the way it is. Anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're on Twitch, hit the follow button. Go ahead and give us a donation. Any donations made during the month of September and August here, what's left of August, will go straight to the family of Rick Hendrickson. Sorry I wasn't that entertaining tonight. I'm still kind of reeling from that, man. I really am. This Wednesday, we're going to have the official, unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic After Show. Details on FanCon have come out. We'll read the details of FanCon this Wednesday. We hope that you'll join us for FanCon October 13th and 14th in Burlington, North Carolina / Gibsonville, North Carolina. And that's going to do it for us tonight. It's a short show, guys. I'm sorry, but the thing is, there's not much you could say about this pay-per-view. That you can't, 2 out of the 10 matches on the main card were good, and 2 out of the 3 on the pre-show were good, so that's 4 matches out of 13. You might as well say 12, you might as well give it roughly 25-35% of the matches were good. That's it. The other 75 to whatever, 80, the other 75 or to 60-some percent was shit. That's the way it is. And it's going to keep going that way until Crazy Vince either steps aside or dies. Because I think Vince pretty much last night has told, or Triple H last night pretty much told you, this is how I would do it if I was booking. And guess what? I think we'd be better off for it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you down the road.